Are you a purpose-driven entrepreneur struggling to get web traffic that converts into paying clients? Stop wasting time and money. Discover how to position yourself as the go-to authority in your niche or industry. Infuse your wow website with the best unmarketing strategies and drive traffic to your website that converts to leads and clients. Listen to the Unmarket Your Business podcast today and watch as your ideal clients find you with ease. Let's head into the studio now with our hostess with the mostest, Carol J. Dunlop. Hey everyone, how are you? And welcome back. Happy holidays. Today is all about podcasts. Do you have one? Or maybe you're thinking about starting one? Great, because you're in the right place. Whether or not you have a podcast, I'm going to show you how to make it profitable. Don't we love that word, profitable? I hope that your holiday went well and the rest of your holidays are going to go well and your new year is going to be super exciting, especially if you get a great profitable podcast out there, right? So first thing, since you're home, you've got time. Since you're off from work or taking some time off of your business, you've got some time. You're probably not seeing clients right now, and you're most likely prepping for 2025. Well, this is a great way to prep for 2025, and it's the perfect time for you to create your profitable funnel, right? So this is how it works. Maybe you're in a bundle, you're on a summit, you lead people to your website, right? And you want them to eventually become a client of yours. So you offer them something free, a freebie. They opt into that freebie. And then on the thank you page, you have an upsell that leads them to pay for something. It's called a tripwire. If y'all have heard that word, you'll know what it is. It's called a tripwire. And this is your thank you upsell page. So now you're going to get them to buy something from you. And then you may even offer them something at a discount price. In addition to this buying thing, you may offer something at a discount price and call it your one-time offer. And you tell them, hey, just because you're here on this page, you're seeing this is a one-time offer and you're the only person that's going to get it. So that is what my masterclass free to upsell is all about. Taking them from a free thing that you're giving them all the way to them becoming a paying client when they were just thinking they're going to get something free. And you're not coercing them or doing anything wrong or crazy. You are helping them to get what they want so you can get what you want. So doesn't that sound good? Go to the link, unmarketyourbusiness.com/free, 2 upsell, free, FREE, 2, and then upsell, UPSELL, unmarketyourbusiness.com/free to upsell, and you can get this masterclass for $97. And guess what else you get? You get 2 months into the Unmarketing Academy, where you get other masterclasses just like this. You get access to over 300 training videos that will help you market your business successfully. All right, it is tech time. And the technology that we're talking about today is what I use to create my podcast in the first place, and that is StreamYard. I love StreamYard. I first started using them, I believe it was in 2018. I was using BeLive, and we don't ever hear anything about BeLive. Have you heard anything about BeLive? I haven't for a long time. So a friend told me that StreamYard was lighter than BeLive, meaning lighter on the resources that it used on your computer, on your server, on your whatever you use to access the internet. That's what I'm trying to say. To access the internet, it was lighter. It would broadcast efficiently, even if you had low bandwidth. And I was in a situation where I had very low bandwidth. I barely had any bandwidth where we were living at the time. So I decided to try it, and it was great. It broadcast. I didn't have any hiccups, or very, very few, and it stayed up and running like 99% of the time, which is exactly what I needed. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to give this thing a try. And back then they gave you 20 hours of streaming per month, and they still do it now. 20 hours of streaming for free. You don't even have to pay them yet. And then if you do decide to pay, they recently went up on their prices. It's about $46 a month. Don't clutch your pearls. Oh my gosh. But it's okay, because of all the goodness that they give. I'm just stuck with them. When they first went up on the prices, I'm like, I am leaving. I can't deal with this. It's too much. But I couldn't find anything else that I liked better, that I knew would be reliable, and that would record my lives, do recordings just like they were live, so that I could download them and edit them and do what I do. That's how I do the podcast. So I guess I'm a fangirl forever, right? So if you want to try out StreamYard for yourself and get your free account and see how good it actually is, you can go to csicorporation.com/StreamYard. I promise you it's absolutely free. You can broadcast live to your website, to YouTube, and even to Instagram. What? Okay, so go try it out. Yeah, I love it. I've been using it for about, I think since 2018. I've been using it since then. It's totally awesome. What's holding you back from hitting go on your marketing plan? Fear, being unsure, imposter syndrome, frustration? That stops now. What if I showed you how to reach your target audience and get them to buy? How to make social media marketing easy? How to understand the power of email marketing? And how to conquer your fear of putting yourself out there? What if I provided you with simple tools and techniques, easy to implement training that bring you clarity, and give you the expertise and the know-how to convert marketing into money? Hey there, I'm Carol J. Dunlop, the online wild strategist and 6-time best-selling author. I teach purpose-driven entrepreneurs just like you to convert marketing into money. If you're a purpose-driven entrepreneur who's ready to stop allowing fear and frustration to keep you stuck and instead embrace clarity, authority, and expert instruction to convert your marketing strategies into money in the bank, then you need to join the Unmarketing Academy. In the Academy, you'll take a deep dive into the tools, techniques, and trainings that helped me and my husband to sustain our successful business in spite of the 2008 recession, 2 major health crises, and of course, the pandemic. The Academy is about replacing expensive, frustrating, and overwhelming marketing practices with simple, easy to implement marketing resources that get you in front of your target audience and get you paid. This Academy is for purpose-driven entrepreneurs who crave simple marketing strategies, coaches who need real-life trainings to take the overwhelm out of marketing, small business owners who are ready to conquer their fear of putting themselves out there, service providers who want to use social media and email marketing effectively, action takers who are ready to go live without fear. Marketing your business successfully takes work and marketing. Without marketing, they don't know you exist. If you're ready to convert your marketing into money, you need to join the Unmarketing Academy. Join the Unmarketing Academy today by going to unmarketyourbusiness.com/join. All right, y'all, there is no guest today. It is me. And I'm going to talk about podcast pitfalls, the things that stop you from making your podcast great and profitable, and how you can use these things that I'm talking about right now to get the best podcast ever, to make money, to get clients, and all that good stuff. So I do have my notes here, so I won't be talking crazy, but I've created 11 podcasts altogether, both that's including podcasts I've created for myself, podcasts I've created with other people, and podcasts I've created for my clients, and podcasts I've created with my clients. So 11 podcasts altogether. Let me just run them down so that you'll know that I do know what I'm talking about, because on all these podcasts, I have made money, got clients, expanded my brand, expanded my authority, and you can do the same thing. So the first one is Fit for Life Radio. I did that when I actually started that one in 2009, when people weren't even thinking about podcasts. They didn't even know what they were. And that was to promote my fitness business. It was called Fit for Life. I got up to 10,000 downloads a week on that one. That was amazing. And I didn't know I could do it, but it was great. And it was really just me. I would have some guests on and interview people, but basically it was me talking about fitness strategies, wellness strategies, and all that. I started Unmarket Your Business, the first version of the podcast, and I started that to promote my book, Unmarket Your Business, 10 Ways for Savvy Entrepreneurs to Stand Out, Stop Struggling, and Start Profiting. Because I figured the best way to promote the book and get people interested in the book was to have a podcast that's talking about one chapter of the book each month. And then in every week, I would talk about a different part of that chapter. It worked out really well. I kept it going for about, I want to say, when was that? 4 years. 4 years, because I reached my 150th episode. And then I went with a coach and we started doing something else. And she said, you really need to, get on to this new thing that I'm doing. And I think I talked about this one in the first episode back, which I think was 153, when I first relaunched this podcast and brought it back. I started the Authority Creators Podcast, and it was how 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs succeed. So I was interviewing 6-figure and 7-figure entrepreneurs, and we'd have this coaching session, and it was cool, but it just wasn't my thing. It wasn't floating my boat. So I went back and relaunched the Unmarket Your Business podcast, which is the version that you're seeing now. And plus, a lot of the podcasts I had done before, I think really all of them, except for this one I'm going to talk about in a minute, were just audio. And now this one's video. So, it's a lot more work involved in a video podcast, but I have audio and video. So I guess it's not really a hybrid, but I record it in video and then I'd strip out the audio and post that. But then I also have it on YouTube as well. All right. So the next podcast that I was telling you about that kind of got me into this video phase was to write books that sell now. Sorry, I was going to write your best-selling book. Write books that sell now. We started a podcast to again promote the course that me and 2 other ladies had created. And we started off as an audio podcast. And then halfway through that, we converted into a video podcast. So I think that's kind of how I got the thoughts and notions or whatever by doing a video podcast. It wasn't that hard. And I love video too. So Write Books That Sell Now podcast was totally awesome. It helped us to promote the business and it helped us to promote the course that we had. So some podcasts that I created for my clients and with my clients: Strategic Prayers podcast, how to pray strategically. I had another client, Helen Panos. She created her podcast. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact name of it. I can't remember. And I couldn't find the thing. But if you look up Helen Panos, you'll see her podcast. And then, of course, my biz bestie, Nadine Mullins, did Women, Faith, and Business podcast. She is on her 10th season now. What? Isn't that amazing? So I love when my clients really commit to doing their podcast, put their thing out there, and then they find success with it and they keep going with it. So I love that. And then let's see. Then I had Susan Stooks. She was a client of mine who found me on my Fit for Life radio podcast and approached me about helping her do her podcast, which was about wellness. And then she also became a client of mine because I was doing social media marketing for her. So see, I told you, I've gotten clients, I make money, I've increased my authority, increased my branding ability, I guess, or expanded my brand. Let's see. And then I partnered with 8-time Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney. So he had a podcast called, it was Fit Life, and mine was called Fitness for Life. So we kind of came together, and for 2 years we did a podcast. We did a joint podcast, and that was really great because he would come on and talk about all things bodybuilding, wellness, and fitness, and I did the same. And we had a great time doing that. Let's see what else I got. And then I took Fit for Life Radio live and in person, and I was on the Yeman Radio Network where I would do my podcast live each week. So I've had a lot of experience doing podcasts. I love doing podcasts. But the thing that I found with entrepreneurs is they do a podcast because they love it, or they've heard these things and they just start it real quick, but they're not thinking about how they can make money with the thing or how they can make it profitable. So as I said, all my podcasts, I made money with it. I got more clients with it, and I put my name out there more so that I would be on other people would ask me to guest on their podcast. So if you want to do the same, I'm about to tell you how to do it right now. So first of all, if you have a podcast and it's not profitable right now, this could be the reason, because you're not asking people to work with you. You're not showing them how they can work with you, and you're not telling them what the results are if they do work with you. So that's very important. You got to do that. You got to put that in there. I don't care what kind of format you do. Now, the best format for doing that is an interview style podcast, just like what I'm running right now. But I have kind of changed this up a little bit because I'm not just doing interviews. I am talking about things that are working with me in the real world right now. I am bringing on guests and interviewing them, and they are talking about things that are working in the real world with them to get more traffic to their website, which is what this podcast is all about, getting more traffic to your website, right? So they're talking about that. Plus, they're talking about their business and how they're making it a success. So I'm kind of combining those things. Plus, I'm doing panels, and panels are on things that are related to entrepreneur life, making entrepreneur life better, some things you didn't even know. Like I've done 2 already. One was women of color web designers. If you didn't know any other women of color web designers, now you do. All you have to do is go, I think it's episode 154, and watch that, where I have 1, 2, 3 other women of color web designers and my biz bestie Nadine, who is moderating it. And we're talking about, what life is like as a woman of color doing web design in this world right now. So like I said, I don't care what kind of format. You may do a storytelling podcast where you're just talking, it's all by yourself, and you're giving people advice on what they need to do in their business or in their life. Well, you have to insert in that podcast how you help them live their best life, or how you have helped them do their best business. Like on the fitness podcast, I would get clients from that because they liked what I was talking about when I was talking about fitness and working out and the mindset and all of that stuff. And they would come to me and say, Carol, I need you to help me work out. Got several clients from that. So you have to tell them, look, I had this client, they did this, and we did this together, and this is the results. You have to, it doesn't matter. And when you're doing interviews, you still have to insert yourself in there as well, because you got to tell them all the good things that are going on with you. And even though you're interviewing that guest, you're not taking anything away from the guest at all. You're just kind of inserting, yes, I'm thinking this. Yes, I had clients that do that. I worked with somebody. Just insert your story in a natural way. You can put your story in there and let other people know what you do, how you do it, and what results you get. Got it? Okay, the next thing that you need to be sure that you do, and that is to put a commercial in there. People are listening to what you're saying, right? They're tuning into your podcast because it's funny or it's intriguing, or you give good advice or whatever, but you got to put a commercial in there. And when I first started my podcast, I did not want to have sponsors, really, because sponsors can really try to dictate what you're doing on your podcast, or the subjects that you cover, or who you're interviewing, or all that. When you start getting paid sponsors, they're going to want to have a say in what you're doing. Sometimes a lot of say, sometimes they don't care, but they want to sell their product. That's why they're sponsoring it, right? So you want to make sure that you have your own commercial in there, and you don't even have I don't have any other sponsors in for this podcast, but my businesses, Creative Services International, where we do web design and help you protect that website design with security and maintenance, and then marketing, which I'm telling you all the unmarketing strategies that I use in my business that you can use in your business, right? And then I talk about my coaching, how you can get coaching for free. And then I talk about how you can, these are all promos, how you can be a guest on this podcast, right? So for me, I don't have any outside stuff coming in. I talk about me because I want you to know all about me and how I can help you. And that's what you have to convey in your podcast if you want it to be profitable and successful, and you want people to work with you, right? So now we talked about why your podcast is not producing sales. It's because you're not asking for it. You need to put a commercial in there. And the next one is, no matter what you do have to talk about your story. You got to tell about what you do, how you do it, and what results they're going to have. The other thing, and this is the most important that I've found since even starting to do podcasts, and I really learned this when I was getting ready to do my Authority Creators podcast. Like I say, I did it for a while, then I stopped, but I learned one key thing, and that is to interview the people who you want to work with, or who can lead you to who you want to work with. Let me say that again, because that deserves repeating. You need to interview the people who you want to work with, or you need to interview the people who can lead you to who you want to work with. So pick your guests carefully. You can have some guests on there because you just want to talk to them or because you think they're interested or whatever, but make sure that they have some relationship to you and what you do. Maybe in my case, for instance, I had a branding person. I'm going to have another one on here because branding people send me business, right? And then I may have someone that I send business to. Say, for instance, a printer. If I have a printer on who comes in and says, these are the best ways that you can do printing or something, I'm online printer or whatever, I send business to them for me and for my clients. Or maybe a t-shirt person. I send, because I don't make t-shirts, right? So I need someone to do it. So I'm going to have somebody on there who's talking about how they design t-shirts and how I can send them my clients to get t-shirts from them. So you understand what I'm saying? So you're looking at me. And this is you, who are the people that your clients would go to first before they get to you? You need to interview those people. And who are the people that your clients would go to after working with you? You need to interview those people. And you need to tell them on air, how does this process work? Why would they go to that person first, then come to you, and don't skip over you or don't skip over that person? You got to make all this stuff clear on your podcast. And those are the three things you need. Very simple, very easy. You just need to do them. And like I said, it doesn't matter what kind of format you're doing for your podcast, whether you interview guests or whether it's just you alone. You can actually talk about somebody who you would love to have on your show, or tell them, spotlight that person. I love this person because blah, 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 blah. And, I would give clients to them because. So whatever way you're going to do it, you need to get it out there and let people know that you are the one they need to work with. You need to let them know how it's going to be working with you. And you need to showcase some results by spotlighting some clients or talk about what you do. But either way, you need to get your story out there so they can know that you are the number one person they need to think of working with when they want to do whatever it is that you do. Okay? So be sure to do that. Is your website ready for prime time? When your ideal prospects land on your website, do they see the true professional you are, or are they greeted by a site that's not quite ready for prime time? For 30 years, we've helped coaches and service providers transform their online presence into powerful client-attracting machines. As a premier website designers in the Atlanta area, we don't just build websites, we create conversion engines that work for you 24/7. Why choose CSI for your WOW website? We're experts in authority marketing. We help you convert web visitors into paying clients with our proven unmarketing strategy. We offer complete protection. We'll work hard to keep your website safe from hackers and accessible to all. And we offer purpose-driven results, custom designed for coaches and service providers who want to make a real impact. If you're ready to make an impact with your website, download our free WOW website planner today. Inside this planner, it'll give you all the information you need to create your own WOW website. Whether you use us or someone else, you need a WOW website that converts web visitors into paying clients. So go to csicorporation.com/planner right now and download the free WOW website planner. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, it is time for the Client Success Story Spotlight. And this week I am spotlighting Dr. Lugenia J. Trailblazer Rucker. That is a name, right? Lugenia and I first met, I think it was in 2015 when I was doing some Fiverr work. I was like a top Fiverr producer, y'all. I did taglines for businesses, and people would come to me. They love my taglines that I would create for them for their business, and then I would get repeat business. It was so cool. So one day on Facebook, I saw that Lugenia had posted something about, no, she contacted me. I had put something out about my Fiverr work. And she said, oh, Carol, I didn't even know who she was. We need to get in touch with each other. I need some Fiverr work and all of that. So I talked to her and we just got started talking. And that was in 2015. And it was in 2016. And we've been going ever since. I have been privileged to watch her grow and prosper in her business, what she's doing with the game changers. I was there when she first created that whole ceremony she does with the game changers and showing them in their crowns and their gowns and really, really celebrating their successes. And I just thought it was fabulous. She's fabulous. And actually in 2019, we worked together on her game changing ultimate game changing weekend experience. I believe that's what we call it. She turned her 4-hour session into a full weekend experience. It was totally awesome. A lot of work, but it was totally awesome. And now she's just going. I mean, she's just getting people in her program. And she had her first millionaire who graduated from her game changer program. That's amazing. So if you want to find out more about Dr. Lugenia J. Trailblazer Rucker, you need to go to trailblazingtransformations.com. Now, one caveat, I did not do that website, but her website is the bomb. And I am the one who is, our company, CSI, is the one who's maintaining it, updating it, and adding some little sparkle and sparkly stuff on it. But, I have to say, I did not, just be totally transparent. I did not do it in the first place, but I've made it better. And that's what we want. We want to make it better, right? Hey there, would you like to be a guest on the Unmarket Your Business podcast? Simple. All you need to do is go to unmarketyourbusiness.com/podcast. All right, now, are you ready for your spotlight? Be on the lookout. All you need to do is be awesome by either being a client or by letting me know you used, did, or followed the advice you heard here or on a previous episode. Post it on social and be sure to tag me at CSI Corporation and use the hashtag Best Unmarketing Strategy. All right, now the challenge for you today is, if you have a podcast, I want you to evaluate it to see how you can communicate your awesomeness to your audience. If you don't have a podcast yet, now is the best time to get it started and get on board. And tell you what, I have something special for you. Just go to csicorporation.com and go to the contact page and then request your instant yes blueprint. It's not on the site, so you'll only get to hear about it here, but you can request your instant yes blueprint that tells you step by step how you can get your podcast started and how you can start making it profitable. Just go to csicorporation.com, go to the contact section and ask for, or message me and ask for the instant yes blueprint. I'll send it right out to you. All right, now let's recap what we've been talking about here. You need to have, first of all, you need to have a commercial in your podcast that's talking about you, your services, what you do, so that people know, hey, this is a real business here. And even though she gives me entertaining stuff, she makes me laugh, she can help me with whatever it is you help people with. And they make sure, number two, make sure you are letting your audience know who you are, what you do, and how you help them. You can't come on episode after episode after episode and not talk about you and what you do, because what will they remember? Nothing about you, but everything about your guests. And then finally, the most important, no matter the format, the interview, you want to interview people that you want to work with or who can lead you to people you want to work with. So any kind of way you want to do that interview, put them on there so that you can really expose your awesomeness. Would you like to get free coaching from me? Simple. All you need to do is go to unmarketyourbusiness.com/podcast. Okay, the book that I want you to get to this week is A Purpose-Driven Entrepreneur's Daily Prayer Journal. It was a bestseller. There are 10 authors in there. It is a 90-day guided journal. So every day, when you open it up, every day you're going to list your life goal, your business goal. It even has a place for you to put in who you want to pray for. It has a scripture in for the day, and it has your revelations that you can put about the scripture, right? And then each of the authors who are in there, they each talk about their story and how prayer help them on their journey in their business. It's really amazing. I loved it. I love working with it. And if you go through it for that 90 days, it will not only help you become closer to God, help you in your prayer life, but it will also help you to just concentrate on what it is that you need to do. If you want to know more about God, you want to get into a better prayer life and all of that, it will help you. All right, so next episode, we're talking about the unpredictability of entrepreneurship. And my guest, Sean Lane, is going to come on and talk. We have this great chat. And it's funny, if you look in the background, you'll see we go from light to dark. The background goes from light to dark because we're talking so long. Now, the episode itself isn't that long, but we're talking and getting in deep about the joys, the pitfalls, the other things that go on with you being an entrepreneur. So make sure you stay tuned for the next episode because it is really going to help you. Just look at all the pitfalls, the gloriness of being an entrepreneur. We explore it all. So check out that episode next week. Now, if you found this episode helpful, please review it on the podcast platform where you get your podcast. Like it if there's a like thing there, and share it with someone so they can get some helpful information out of it as well. So while you're doing all that, you might as well go ahead and subscribe, right, on the platform that you get all your podcasts on. If you do that, it really helps this podcast. It helps me grow. It helps me get the word out there about what I do and how I help people. And it helps you to get more information about what's going to help you get more traffic to your website. I would really seriously appreciate it. So thank you so much. That's all I have for you today. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Unmarket Your Business podcast. Heard something you want to take action on? Great. Check out the show notes on unmarketyourbusiness.com/podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Please do me a favor and leave a review or on whatever platform you use to access this podcast. It really helps us to spread the word and get this podcast in front of the entrepreneurs that need it. See you next episode.